Sugarcane farmers are the latest to be hit by world price slumps, normally a great cash crop. This year's prices are lower than the cost of harvesting, according to growers. 680 baht a tonne right now compared to over 1,000 last year. Add to that the fact that local hires are becoming harder to find and they're having to use contractors with machinery to reap the sugar instead. Allied bombing continues to plague locals in the west of Thailand. Bombs, that is, from 1945. Experts are recovering bombs dropped at the end of World War II, aimed at Japanese as they fled Thailand. 7 were discovered in the Mekong River, where a bridge is being expanded and widened. None exploded, but the search for others has to continue before construction continues too. The latest in Thai soap operas, but real. That water buffalo, the one that was adopted by its herdsman who raised money from an internet donation scheme and bought it from its owner, only for the previous owner to object to the way the money was raised and, using a lawyer who himself claimed that he donated 100 baht online, together filed a claim of computer crime with police. Then, as you remember last week, the police confiscated the kwai as they investigated the case. Well, the weekend saw police admitting that their facilities aren't set up for cattle. An agreement was reached so that they could continue with their investigation, but the buffalo could go home to his Saraburi saviour. On Phi Phi Island, police are investigating as a speedboat carrying passengers injured a passenger with its propeller. It's thought that the Chinese lady who was involved disembarked before the boat came to a final halt. The pilot claims that he didn't know that she was in the water as he manoeuvred. Either way, both legs are said to have been slashed by the blade, and she was in hospital yesterday. Stopping off for a snack on the side of the road makes sense on a long journey. Leaving your bags in the car while you eat, well, that works too. But supposedly leaving 1.3 million baht in cash in a bag in the car for 2 hours and not locking it, well, you can imagine the rest. The couple claimed that they returned to the vehicle only to find their borrowed cash gone, with no signs of forced entry. If money existed, some opportunist thief is quids in. Those who remember children's tales, Goldilocks was revisited perhaps this weekend, but with a twist. A Saraburi man returned to his home at the weekend only to find that someone had been into his house before him. The 25-year-old student noticed that things had been moved, actually ransacked. Food had been eaten, not porridge to be fair. There was another man in his otherwise empty bed. That's where the story varies from the traditional children's tale, as instead the sleeping man, so we're told, had a knife beside him. They fought, and the thief ended up strangled or stabbed to death. At home in Pattaya, the mother of a baby found abandoned last week has been arrested. She's a Lao national, and initial reports told us that she'd been in a relationship with a Japanese man that she'd met at a local bar, but he'd finished with her before he knew or she knew that she was pregnant. The 20 or 28-year-old, depending on the report you read, here on an overstay, she gave birth to the child alone in a toilet, knowing that she couldn't afford to raise it. She'd left it in the hope that someone else would take care of her child. It's now possible that the child could be adopted later if she signs documents. However, the problem now arises as to nationality. Good news for expats, as it seems a new service from immigration police here could help remind us when our visas are about to expire. The idea is that we would get an SMS message ahead of our visa expiring, reminding us to get started on a new application. And police believe that the new idea could reduce accidental overstays to close to zero. And with the Met Office promising highs today of around 31 dropping down to 22 and an overcast day, that is the local and national news from Fabulous 103 FM, keeping you in touch with Thailand and of course Pattaya, the city of fun.